Good Tuesday morning to everybody. Hope you are doing well wherever you are. We are at the second game of the June 12th date, 1987, as we go east to west geographically. First game was in Baltimore. Second game, we're at Yankee Stadium in New York. It'll be the Milwaukee Brewers taking on the New York Yankees. Brewers now are looking up at Toronto after Toronto beat the Orioles yesterday. Milwaukee's a half game back, so Milwaukee has to win to hold serve and keep that first place tie. Of course, the Yankees trying to catch them. Yankees 2 games behind the Brewers. They have the same amount of wins at 36, but the Brewers have 4 fewer losses. Game is again at Yankee Stadium. Singles are 1-7 for both. Home runs 1-9 left and 1-8 right-handed. Yankees did make a roster move. They acquired Mike Easler from the Philadelphia Phillies, so he'll be on the roster. Claudel Washington is I'm assuming he's injured because he's not on the roster. But Mike Easler will take his place, and he'll be in left field for this ball game. I noticed on the Brewers as well, a lot of their players are not listed as active, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. But they only had 3 bench players available according to the Strat computer. So I'll go with it. That's what they tell me, so that's what I'll go with. Chuck Krim, a right-hander on the mound for the Brewers. He is 1-2 in the replay. He was 6-8 real world, 3.67 ERA. Dennis Rasmussen, a left-hander, 9-7 with a 4.75 ERA, and he's 3-3 on the replay. Those are your starting pitchers for today's game for both teams. As we look at who is available, like I said, I'm going by the Strat computer. So I don't know if they'd specify and drill down to day by day, like a player's day to day, so they take him off the availability list. But Robin Yount is not listed as available. So according to the Strat computer, like I said, that's my only resource that I'm using right now is the Strat computer and their transactions. These 3 guys are available: Paul Molitor, Jim Gantner, and the recently called up Billy Joe Robideau. That's it. No Robin Yount. So don't know if Robin Yount is hurt. Didn't look it up. Don't know. That's the only 3 available on the bench for the Brewers. Now for the Yankees, they have 4 available. They have Dan Pasqua. They have Rick Cerrone, the backup catcher. They have Bobby Meacham, and they have Len Sakata. That's it. That's the bench. Those are the benches. So probably not going to have a whole lot of bench activity in this game just because of that. Now maybe the next game they come back. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just going by what the Strat-O-Matic computer is telling me. And that's all I have to go by. Sometimes that's all you have to go by. All right, so let's get this game rolling. Dennis Rasmussen, 3-3 on the replay. Well, first let's look at his real-life numbers one more time. 9-7 with a 4.75 ERA. That's his reference point. On the replay, he's 3-3 with a 4.01 earned run average, 74 innings pitched, 64 hits, 21 walks, and 52 strikeouts. His wild pitch rating is an 8. Balk is a 0. Krim has a 3 and a 3 on both counts. Holding runners, Rasmussen's a +3, actually I've got this backwards. This should be a 5 here, not a -1. Not sure what I was looking at there, but let's fix that. I was thinking that was a -3, not a +3. I think that's what it was. So it's really a +5 because Salas is a 2 and Rasmussen is a 3. So that's actually a +5. So Brewers, if they feel the need to run, certainly will have an advantage there. Krim is a -2 and Surhoff's a 0. So that is a total -2. Salas has a pass ball rating of 14. Surhoff is only a 5. All right. So those little preliminaries are out of the way. Game number 403 overall on the replay. And, of course, before we have the ceremonial first pitch, we need the ceremonial first sip. And that is some good coffee. All right. Mike Felder on the replay is hitting 394, just 33 at bats, though, so small sample size. 394, no homers, a run driven in. He at 266 real world. He's a switch hitter. He'll bat right-handed, and he's in center field in place of Robin Yount. 2-7, and he's going to fly to left field, where that's hauled in by the newest acquisition, Mike Easler, the hitman. He makes the play. And here's Juan Castillo, second baseman. He's hitting 207 on the replay. No homers, 10 driven in. He hit 224, actually, real world. That's a 3-6 left-handed, and that's a strikeout. First strikeout for Mr. Rasmussen. And that'll take us to Cecil Cooper, designated hitter. Despite facing a left-handed pitcher, Milwaukee has him in there as the DH. He's hitting 215, 6 homers, 20 driven in. He hit 248 real world. And you would think Molitor must really be not feeling well, because you would think he would DH in this game against a lefty, but that's not what they have. 1-9, and that is a fly ball to right field. 1-2-3 inning for Dennis Rasmussen. Brewers go very meekly in their half of the first. We go to the bottom of the first. Brewers nothing, and the Yankees coming to bat. I don't know, action. Like I said, I'm just going by what the Strat-O-Matic computer is telling me. I could have gone maybe to either Action PC or to Diamond Mine and went on this date and see who was available, but I'm just kind of trusting because even if other guys were available, the Strat computer has them unavailable, so I can't, unless I go in and alter things, I can't go in and put them in the sim. So I'm just going to go by what Strat-O-Matic is telling me. All right, so Chuck Krim, real season, 6-8, 3.67 ERA on the and he had 12 saves as a relief pitcher. On the replay, 1-2 with 5 saves, an ERA of 2.36. So his ERA is much better than his record. 42 innings pitched, 36 hits, 10 walks, 18 strikeouts. And he will be, hello Dan, good morning to you. And he will be facing Willie Randolph. Randolph, a 266 hitter in the replay. 3 homers, 25 driven in. He hit 305 real world. Dan, I did a practice game last night in Fall Classic, and boy, the rust definitely showed. There were some spots there that I totally got hung up on. That mainly with base running advancement and fielding. And that seems to be with any sim. It seems like the two hardest things to get down in any sim, particularly like inside pitch or whatever, is fielding and base running advancement. The other things were pretty self-explanatory, I thought, but those two things, those two areas particularly gave me trouble. All right. I have to practice more, I guess. All right, here is Willie Randolph. 4-11, and as a fly ball left field X, left fielder is Rick Manning. He's a 1, so we know he's going to get to it. Ooh, that's a 17. That's probably going to be an error. Most likely a 17 in the outfield usually is, and he's an E15, so he's good range but high error rating. So an E15 and a 17 is a 3-base error on Rick Manning. Look at that. An E15 and a 17 is a 3-base error on Rick Manning. And he is the E15 with a 17. So it is a 3-base error on Rick Manning to start the ball game for the Yankees. Go figure. Don't get those very often. 3-base error, unless you roll an 18. This time it was a 17. And right off the bat, the Brewers behind the 8 ball. But with nobody out, they're going to play the infield back. They want to keep it at 1 run and not start a big 2 or 3 run inning if they can avoid it. Gary Ward playing first base in this one. He's hitting 215, 7 homers, 26 driven in. He had 248 real world. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing the same thing, Dan. Because sometimes I have to go to the out chart to figure out what's going on. Like on a home run that fails on the pitcher card, not the ballpark card. I know ballpark card, if a home run fails, it's a fly to center field. But when a home run on the pitcher card fails, how do I know if it's a fly to right, fly to left, or fly to center? Now, the way I had been playing it is if it's a left-handed batter, I have him fly to right. If it's a right-handed batter, I have him fly to left. There's probably something in the rules somewhere that specifically states that, but I couldn't find it. And I printed out a whole bunch of stuff, but I realized that the one thing I didn't print out was the out charts, and that's what I really needed the most. So, like I said, it was quirky. I mean, I recorded it. I haven't put it up. I mean, it's private. I'm almost embarrassed to put it out there. So, but I almost feel like putting it out there so I can get feedback and correct my errors. So, refer to the D20. My D20 roll was a 17 or something. So you're saying you're supposed to go to the out chart and look and see what 17 was, because that's what I remember. The roll specifically was a 17, which to me was a fly ball to left, but it was a right-handed batter. So I actually changed it back to a fly ball to right. Not that it matters, just the exhibition game, but so I think what I was missing before I play my next game, I really need to print out that out chart. And like I said, I think because when I was flipping the fact cards for out, I kept getting fly to center, fly to center, fly. It was just annoying. I was getting the same outs. So I think that the variety of the D20 might push me away from the fast action cards a little more. All right, here's Gary Ward. Infield is back. 1-8, and that's a strikeout. Didn't matter where the infield was. He struck out. But I guess Fall Classic is like any other game. You can home brew it to your liking. So anyway, here's Mike Easler. He's just acquired from the Phillies in a trade, and this will be his first at bat as a Yankee. In 167 bats in the real season, he hit 281 with 4 homers and 21 runs driven in. So we'll see how he does as the Yankees pick him up to try to get more offense, particularly with Ricky Henderson and Don Mattingly on the shelf. The infield now is in with 1 out. Since there's 1 out now, they brought him in. 1-9 for Easler. That's a single, and that's going to be a base hit to give the Yankees a 1-0 lead. So Easler paying dividends right off the bat. Unearned run. But the way the Yankees offense has been going, they'll take it. Easler not going to be held at all. Good morning, Dr. D and Chuck. So here's Winfield. He's hitting 261. 12 homers, 34 driven in. He at 275 real world. 2-5, and that is a ground ball shortstop B, fielder's choice, 6-4 for out number 2. Whoops. Out number 2. In fact, that's why I was a little bit slow getting the game on this morning, because on my tabletop I still had all the accoutrements and everything from the Fall Classic game on the table. I had to clear all that stuff out and bring my Strat stuff back in. That's why I was a little bit behind getting on today at not 9 o'clock. But hello, Mr. ID. I did play I was talking with the group, and last night I recorded it, but I have it on private, so I haven't put it out yet. But and I might not put it out at all because I'm not sure how well it went. But I did play a Fall Classic game last night, and the rust showed. So, but I really want to like that game. I really want to like the game. I do. Despite its APA-like qualities, I really want, and APA is a game I really don't care for. I really want to like the game because there's some things about the game that I really like, some things I don't like. So, like I said, I played it last year, actually 2 years ago, in around this time of the year in 2024. It was game 1 that I learned, because we had the goal of learning 2 games. I learned that one and season ticket in 2024. Didn't do any new games last year, so maybe I'll try another. I don't know if there's any new games out there now. Maybe the reboot of Fall Classic counts as learning a new game. I don't know. So here's Ron Kittle, the designated hitter. He's hitting 308, 11 homers, 26 driven in. He at 277 real world. Winfield at first base, not being held. 2-4, and that is a ground ball to third. That will end the inning. Boy, he just missed it. 2-5. He'd had the home run, but 2-4 is a miss. But the 3-base error by Rick Manning to start the game gives the Yankees a 1-0 lead after 1. So here is Rasmussen. But what I played last night was game 1 of the 1989 World Series. 1989 is the only season set I currently own for Fall Classic, so I figured why not do the World Series? But it didn't turn out very realistic, let's just say. And I ran into a couple of 66s, which gave me APA heebie-jeebies, because I really don't like the fact that you do something because you rolled a 66. That just doesn't resonate with me. Not a lot of talent in rolling 66. It's just luck. But some people love it, so hey, more power to them. Here's Glenn Bragg's 274 average, 6 homers, 30 driven in, hit 289 real world. My slogan is, friends don't let friends play APA. That's just my slogan. If that offends, so be it. 4-4, and that's an in-home run for Glenn Braggs. That ball is gone off of Rasmussen. I take it back. He's a weak hitter against lefties. Who would have thought that? You would have thought against lefties he'd be a normal, like he is against righties, but against lefties he's a weak hitter. So that will not be a home run. That will be a single. Glenn Braggs only gets the single off of Rasmussen. So almost gave him I did give him the home run prematurely, but I had to look again and see he was a weak hitter power-wise against lefties. But he is going to get a chance to get a lead because of that +5 on Rasmussen. He may even go without the lead, but he's going to try for the lead, 5 or 6. That's a 7, but he can still try it with an 11. It would drop down to a 7, and then the +5 make it a 12. But I think without the good lead, I think he'll hold. So that'll bring up third baseman Jim Pashorek. And here's Pashorek hitting 241, a homer, 9 driven in. He hit 228 real world. Yes, ID, I've got to get over a lot of things, apparently. I got some old traditions in my head or whatever that I don't know. Here's Pashorek, 2-7. That's a strikeout. That's out number 2. Here's B.J. Surhoff. He's hitting 317, 6 homers, 21 driven in. He hit 289 real world. And I decided not to pull the trigger on Strat-O-Matic's new offerings this year. I withdrew my things I had in the cart that I put there, and I decided to get rid of them and not participate this year. There's nothing really that they're offering that I really, really want. I'd rather take that money and maybe buy a Fall Classic set. All right, here's Surhoff. 1-8, and that's a walk. I've got enough. I got about 40 Strat seasons, so don't think I'm hurting for those. But 85 and 52 don't really do anything for me, and certainly 2025 doesn't. Other than the World Series, I didn't think much of the season. It's a good series, but I've got 2025 on the Action PC, so if I really wanted to play a 2025, I could play it on the Action PC. All right, here is Bill Schroeder. Schroeder is playing first base today. He's a backup catcher, but he's playing first base with a lefty on the mound. They're giving Greg Brock. Well, Greg Brock's not even on the roster. Billy Joe Robideau is a backup first baseman. But he's a 4.11 at first base. Nothing on the Havoc. Schroeder on the replay is hitting 264, 2 homers, 12 driven in. He hit 332 real world. That's a 4-8 right-handed. 1-8's a single. Anything else he lines to short, that's a 20. So he's going to line it right to Tollison for out number 2. ID, I might go ahead and upload that video just so you can critique it and show me all the errors of my ways. Might do it as a premiere, that way people can comment live and I can take notes, because I'm sure I butchered it. All right, here is Rick Manning. He's in left field, and Manning is hitting 303 on the replay. No homers, 5 driven in, just 33 at bats. He hit 238, no homers, and 114 at bats. It is a clutch situation. That's a 2 though, so we're checking balk and pass ball. We are looking at the pass ball rating of Salas, which is a 14. High probability of a pass ball. And we get one. So that'll move the runners up 90 feet. And now a base hit could score 2 runs. Pass ball on Mark Salas. So Rick Manning in the clutch against lefties actually is pretty good. He gains a hit on 2-3 and 2-8. So he actually gains a couple of hits in the clutch. 4-6, though, was going to get off Rasmussen's card. 1-6 is a triple. That's a 2. Did Rick Manning? He had 1 triple, so we'll allow it. Although he's already had 1 triple already in the replay. Are we going to give him 2 triples in 34 at-bats when he only had 1 triple and 114 at-bats? I guess because he runs at a 16, we'll allow it. It's believable. So a triple for Rick Manning. Look at it again. 4-6 is a 1-6 triple, and that's a 2. So if that was, a slow-running catcher, I'd drop it to a double, but we'll keep the triple. It's a 2-run triple for Rick Manning. So the pass ball really didn't matter. So both these runs will be earned because they would have scored regardless. And that brings up Dale Swain. Swain hitting .330 on the replay. 12 homers, 36 driven in. He hit .252 real world. Switch hitter batting right-handed against Rasmussen. 2-1 Brewers now. 4-3 is a fly ball right field X. We're looking at Glenn Braggs. He's a 3E13. 3-19, he'll get to that. E13 and a 9. E13, there's a 6-4, 12, 15, and 17, but no 9. So good play for Braggs. But the Brew Crew take a 2-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the second. 2-run triple from Rick Manning. Krim back out, and he'll face Mike Pagliarulo, third baseman for the Yankees. Pags hitting .226, 15 homers, 34 driven in. He hit .234 real world. I almost thought about getting 1908 from Fall Classic just to get the dead ball in there, but I don't know. I can't pull the trigger on that. It's interesting, but I don't think I'd want to spend money on dead ball. Just me. I know certain people that love dead ball, but I'm not one of them. I mean, I find it curious, but I don't think I'd want to dive that deep into it. Pagliarulo, .226 average on the replay. 15 homers, 34 driven in. 3-4, and that's going to be a straight-out home run. Clean as can be right there. No D20 needed. You can take the D20 away. 3-4 is a home run for Mike Pagliarulo. And we got a tie ball game here at Yankee Stadium. For Pagliarulo, that is home run number 16. He had 32 real world. He's right at his halfway point, but he's only had at bat 187, and he had 522 at bats real world. So he's well above his home run rate. That's the way this replay has been going. It's kind of been going hot on home runs for most players. Some players that go short on home runs. I agree, Dan. The only part about Fall Classic that I won't say it's a turnoff, but it's the only thing that's holding me back a little bit is the left-right splits only come up on the 26 roll. Maybe 25 if the guy's extreme, but they're not very robust. Let's put it that way. That and the doubles. If you roll doubles, is good. It's very Apple-like, as I said. You roll 55, 66s, you're having some good results. Those are the two things I got to get over. Ironically, when I played the game last night, there were 3 26 rolls that affected whether it was a hit or not based on lefty-righty. So I talk about the lefty-righty not being in there, and it comes up 3 times in that one game. I think it's just bad karma just getting me back on that. I don't know. All right, here is Mark Salas. He came over from Minnesota midseason. He's hitting .163, 2 homers, 8 driven in. He at .250 real world. 6'8", left-hander is a 1-6 single. That's a 16. He'll line it to second. 1 away. Whoops. That's why I usually tape this sheet down, because It slides all over the place, but I like having the pad as my background. Gives me something to bear on instead of just the table. It's a nice bear down, but all right, here is Henry Cotto. Cotto on the replay is hitting just 143, 3 for 21, but all 3 of those hits are extra base hits. He's got 2 doubles and a homer. He had 5 homers, 20 RBI real world, hitting 235, but right now he's hitting $143, but only 21 at bats, so small sample size. 4-9, and that is a pop out to third. 2 down. I think what I need to do is not worry about how the results are done and just enjoy the game for what it is and not try to overanalyze it. Maybe that's my problem. I just need to do it, play it for the fun and not be so critiquing of it. Here's Wayne Tollefson hitting 222, 2 homers, 15 driven in. He had 221 real world, so he's right on his number. 4-7, switch hitter batting left. It's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Swain, 3E25 for Swain. Let's see, that's a 7, that's a 10. So a 3 and a 10 probably gets to that. 3 and a 10. Yep, it's a G2. And then that's a 7, and he is an E25. There is no 7 there, so Swain makes the play to end the inning, but the Pagliarulo homer ties the score at 2 after 2. Here from Yankee Stadium. Rasmussen back out, and he'll be facing the top of the order: Felder, Castillo, and Cooper. Yeah, it's hard to say, Kathy, what will happen. I'm not sure what happened the last time with Strat-O-Matic. Well, I know during the COVID, the sales went up, but I'm not sure about the strike because we haven't had a strike since '94. And back then, I wasn't playing Strat, so I don't know what they were doing. And if they force everybody to max, that just tunes me out because I have no desire to do anything with max. Not at all. 2-8 for Fielder against the lefty is going to be a single in the 2-20. So Mike Felder, not Fielder. Mike Felder with the base hit, and he's going to be looking to get the jump because of the +5 from Rasmussen. Plus, he's a good stealer to begin with. Let me look at his numbers. And I forgot to put I got to undo that. I forgot to put the ground ball to short on Tollefson. So it credited Tollefson with a single, which we don't want. So let's get the ground out on Tollefson. Then I can go to Fielder and put him in for a single. And now let's see what he's done on the replay. Stolen base-wise for Fielder. Or Felder. Keep wanting to call him Fielder. Felder in the real season stole 34 bases, caught 8 times. In the replay, he stole 4 bases, caught 1 time. So he's going to look and know he needs a 6, 7, or 8 to obtain the lead, but he's going to go whether he obtains the lead or not. He gets the 8, so he gets the lead anyway, so it's almost going to be academic. 19, being held to 17, but the +5 is a 22. Salas only has a T2, so not much risk in throwing him down there, but the only way he's out is on a 20. He's definitely in there. That's his 5th stolen base for Felder on the replay. Caught 1 time. So Felder in scoring position with nobody out, and that's going to bring up second baseman Juan Castillo. So Castillo I guess you guys are right, but when I look at it, maybe it's just the optics, but when I look at the strat card, I see splits, and so I'm getting differences. At least in theory, I'm getting differences. They may be the same on both sides of the card, but when you compare that to just the 26 on Fall Classic, just optically, it looks like it's not enough. Maybe over time it is enough. I don't know. I don't know. It's a good question. What I'd like to do is learn Fall Classic enough to do a season, either a season replay or a pitcher replay or something, so that I can test the game engine over a full season. That's the only true test I can give, to where I'd be confident that it produces accurate results. 5-3, and that's going to be a ground ball pitcher B. That'll hold the runner, Felder, at second base. So they're able to get the out without the runner advancing. Here's Cecil Cooper, and like I talked about it with when I had a talk with the replay gamer, even if the splits aren't there, I still manage the game as if they were. So in my mind's eye, I'm still going to bring in that lefty to face the lefty, whether on the card or not, it makes a difference. In my mind, it makes a difference. Here's Cecil Cooper. 2-8 for Cooper, and that's a ground ball shortstop A. So again, the runner has to hold. Felder still stuck at second base, now with 2 outs. 2 outs. Oh, I watch him quite a bit. He's the one that got me even remotely back to interest in Fall Classic. And of course, he and I did a chat Friday night about if we were king of Strat-O-Matic, what we would do, the things we would implement, which was a fun time. 3, nothing happening there. 2-7, and that's a single to center field. Most likely will score the run. Center fielder arm. Cotto, though, is a -1. So Felder is a 17. With 2 outs, it becomes a 19. Was not being held, makes him a 20. -1's a 19. And Braggs would take second on the overthrow. So I think the Yankees will concede the run there. The odds just aren't in their favor to throw home. So it's going to be an RBI single from Glenn Braggs. And the Brewers reclaim the lead 3-2. Dan, I remember him doing something saying that the game was running hot with hits. So he did something on singles where I think it was based on the D20 roll or something. He would change, he'd make it a range play all the time or something. I think that's what his resolution was, make any 31 play a range play. I think that's what he was doing. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that was his thing to do here. All right, Glenn Bragg is going to try to get the lead, 5 or a 6. Doesn't get the lead, he'll hold. And that'll bring up Jim Paciorek, third baseman. Paciorek. I'm just trying to figure out what season I want to get and whether I want to mess with the PDF or just pay the extra and get the printed. Here's Paciorek, 3-6 against the lefty. Struck him out, and that's going to end the inning. Strikeout number 3 for Rasmussen. Let the Brew Crew take the lead. As we go to the bottom of the third, it's now 3-2. Yeah, that's actually a very good homebrew there that he came up with. That's, if the game runs hot for singles, that's probably a good thing to do. Either that, or if he's an A pitcher, change it to an out or something. I don't know. Leave it alone if it's a B or C. I don't know enough about the game to. The 1,200 hours of research, can't beat that. I'm sure Fall Classic doesn't come anywhere close to that. 2-6, and that's going to be a single. 8-20 is a single. 1-7 is a double. That's a 5. So leadoff double for Willie Randolph. Back come the Yankees. Back come the Yankees. Here comes Gary Ward. Seems weird to see him at first base, but that's where he's playing today. .35, and that's going to be a ground ball to third, so that will freeze the runner. Randolph has to hold. Gary Ward could not hit the ball to the right side of the infield as needed, so the runner has to hold. But here comes the hitman, Mike Easler. He singled, had an RBI single his first time up as a Yankee. 1-4, and this time, he just missed a home run chance. This is just a fly to center. That would have been a double otherwise, but it's a fly to center for out number 2. 2 down, and it's going to be all up to Mr. May, Dave Winfield. Although we're in June, he is still considered Mr. May. That's a 2, chance for a balk or pass ball. Looking at the pass ball rating of Surhoff, which is a 5. No pass ball. So here's Winfield. In the clutch, no less. 1-5, but he's going to walk. So that'll pass the baton to Ron Kittle. Kittle grounded to third base in his first outing. In the clutch for Kittle against a right-handed pitcher, he loses a hit on 1-3, and looks like everywhere else is neutral. Six, 8, and that's going to be a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Swain, 3E25. 3 and a 16 is good. That is a total of 13. He's an E25 and a 13. There's a 13 right there. 1 base error on Swain, and it will load the bases. E6 will continue the inning. Krim thought he was out of the jam, but think again. Swain bobbles it. Now the bases are loaded with 2 outs for Pags, who homered his first time up. Big chance here for Pagliarulo. He gains a hit on 1-6, and that's about it. Gains a hit on 1-6. That's a 5-5, and that's a ground ball to second, so Krim pitches around all the mess, and the Yankees come away empty-handed. They load the bases but can't get them home. We've played 3 complete at Yankee Stadium. Score remains Brewers 3 and Yankees 2. I'm thinking about doing PDF on the 1967 season because I really only am interested in the American League. I'm not really interested in the National League of 67. I'm very interested in the American League 67. So that's a case where I'm thinking about just buying the PDF and just printing off the American League, and I think I would save, money on that, and maybe get a printed set of something, another season that I really enjoy for the whole season. I got to figure it out what I want to do with that. It's an $18 flat fee to ship, so it doesn't matter whether you buy 1 set or 5 sets. It's still going to be $18. So like Strat-O-Matic, their shipping's a little bit high, and may have to buy some seasons, just a couple of seasons, just to make it worth my while. Here's Surhoff, 5-3, and that's a fly ball right field X. Right fielder is Winfield. He's a 1. You know he's going to get to it. We're just looking at the E3, and the only error on E3, 3, 15, and 18. And we don't have any of those, so Winfield makes the play. 1 down. I'm definitely no longer an impulse buyer, though. Maybe I overanalyze when I don't end up not buying anything at all. So I've never seen them run sales. I am cheap ID, and I admit it. I fully embrace it. I prefer to say frugal just to make it sound better, but I guess theoretically I am cheap. But maybe that's how maybe that's why I'm retired now, because I was cheap for 30 years and never spent any money. So I was able to save and be able to retire. 4-4, and that's going to be an in-home run chance straight up once again. But Schroeder does not have the weak power. That is gone. Look at it again. 4-4 is that in-home run chance. Schroeder has normal power, and that is gone. Bill Schroeder. Home run for Schroeder, his 3rd of the replay. He had 14 real world. This is home run number 3. In his 89th at bat, he had 14 home runs and 250 at bats. It is now a 4-2 ball game. That 4-4 has come up twice. You got to break the first time because Braggs had weak power, but didn't catch a break this time. Hello, Trenton. Good to see you. Yeah, my 2020 Imagine cards. I appreciate that. I really enjoy Replay Gamer. He's really a nice gentleman, and he asked me to come on and talk about it. And I obviously said yes. I'll come on and talk about anything if anybody asks me. All right, here's Rick Manning, 6'7", and that's a lefty-lefty. Ground ball second base X, and that's going to be Randolph. He is a 2E17. 220 is good. E17 and a 13 for Randolph at second base. E17, there is no 13, so good play there for Randolph for out number 2. Hello, Joel. Good to see you. And that'll bring up Dale Swain, number 9 hitter. 5'7", and that is, he's a righty, so 5'7" is a ground ball second base X. We're looking at Castillo, a 3E21. 3-11 is going to be good, I do believe. It is. 3-11 is a G2. That's a 7, and Castillo's an E21. So E21 is a 4, 13, and 17, but no 7. So Castillo will make the play. I'm sorry, it should have been Randolph, not Castillo. What am I doing? It's 2E17. E17 and the 7 I don't think is a problem either. Nope, it's not. So Randolph made the play, not Castillo. Neither one of them would have made an error on that. So it's good play to end the inning. Go to the bottom of the 4th, still 3-2 Brew Crew. Oh, I'm sorry, I gave him a 0 after Schroeder hit the home run. Dummy. It's 4-2. Forgot that Schroeder hit the home run. 4-2 Brew Crew. Don't want any protest of the game here, so make sure we get it right. All right, Mark Salas, your batter. 1-3, and he's going to fly to right, and there's a possible injury. And my injuries are only game day injuries because I am doing as played, but I do allow injuries within the actual game itself. So Mark Salas has a chance to be injured. And if I go to the injury chart in the Strat rulebook, the way I play it is 1 to 6, he can stay in. I know this is missing the remainder of the game, but I'm doing it 1 to 6, he stays in the game. 7 or higher, he's got to come out. So he's got to come out. So we will get the new catcher coming into the game. Rick Cerrone will take over from Mark Salas as Salas has to leave due to injury. That's actually an upgrade for the Yankees, though. Cerrone, a much better catcher. So Cerrone will be coming in to catch in the 5th inning. Rick Cerrone. Here is Henry Cotto. He popped it up to third base his first time up. 2-6 for Cotto struck him out, and that is strikeout only number 2. Only the second strikeout for Krim. 2 down for Wayne Tollison, number 9 hitter. Tollison grounded to Swain his first time up. 3-8, and that's going to be a fly to right field to end the inning. So 3 up, 3 down go the Yankees, and now we'll put in Rick Cerrone on the computer as the new catcher, taking the place of Salas. And for the Yankees now, that will leave Pasqua, Meacham, and Sakata as the 3 bench players remaining. All right, Mike Felder stepping to the plate. Singled, stole second, and scored his last time up. 4-2 Brewers in the top of the 5th. Hello, Canadian. Good to see you. Felder, 3-11, and that's a line out right to Willie Randolph. Out number 1. 1 away for Juan Castillo. Castillo, second baseman, is 0 for 2, struck out and grounded back to the mound. 3-6 against the lefty. He's going to strike out again. And for Rasmussen, that is strikeout number 4 on the game. And that'll take us to Cecil Cooper. Cooper is 0 for 2 from the designated hitter spot. Oh, I love Action PC manual entry. I'm telling you. Strat-O-Matic PC is no longer in my radar at all to keep track of stats. Or if I want to do a Strat replay, I'll use Action PC. Now, I am using the Strat replay on this season because I've already started it before the Action PC thing came along. So I have to, I don't want to have to redo everything. So I am using the Strat computer to keep the stats on this replay, but future replays, everything is going to the manual entry. 1-8, and that is a strikeout. So how about that? Another strikeout for Rasmussen. 1-2-3 inning. Go the Brew Crew. Bottom of the fifth we go. It's still 4-2. Your score. And we'll send up Willie Randolph, top of the order for the Yankees. Yeah, the seasons are usually on sale for about $9 a piece, $9.50 a piece. I think that's his current sale price is about $9.50 a piece. Even regular price are like less than $20, but when they were $9.50 a piece, I bought a bunch of. I bought every season that matched my Strat-O-Matic card collection, so that I've got a Action PC season on the computer for every Strat card set that I have. So if I want to do any future replays on Strat-O-Matic cards and dice, I can score it on Action PC because I've got the season for it now. And my workaround is if I'm missing a player, then I'll just do the manual entry through Strat till I get to the player that's missing. Then I'll switch over and do the Action PC computer game for that at bat, and then I'll switch back and do the cards and dice. That's what I did when I had Replay Baseball. And Replay Baseball was my main go-to. That's what I would do. All right, here's Willie Randolph. Or I can use a nameless player, one or the other. Let's see, 2-7. And that is a single, solid single. Willie Randolph, 2 for 3. Trying to get something started for the Yankees. He needs a 3 to get the lead. Doesn't get the lead, he'll hold. Here's Gary Ward. He's 0 for 2. And this is Krim's fatigue inning, by the way. 1-8, and that's a strikeout. So that's strikeout number 3 for Chuck Krim. Is Easler. .39, and that is a ground ball second base A. We finally got it. The Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play of the game. Right here, 463 tailor-made double play. Giovanni's Tailor Shop in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania, the unofficial sponsor of the Demos channel. Sponsoring this, whether they know or not, they're sponsoring the tailor-made double play. If you're in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania, stop by and see Giovanni's Tailor Shop and tell them Demo sent you. They may even give you a discount. So that's going to end the inning. That means that Krim will keep endurance into the 6th inning without any issues. Rasmussen, 5th inning was his fatigue inning, but he went 1-2-3, so he has full endurance. And here's Glenn Braggs. Canadian, I did that for my fictional league. It's not very difficult. You don't have to put any stats in or anything for the players. You just create them, give them a position, and whether they hit left or right, and put their name in there and assign a team to them. That's pretty much all you need to do. That's all I did for mine. Very, as simplistic as it can get for my bones, and I'm not very computer savvy, so if I can do it, anybody can do it. Braggs is 2 for 2. 6-6, he's going to strike out. There's a dot there, but he has not hit fatigue, so the strikeout stands. 1 away, strikeout number 6 for Rasmussen. And here is Jim Paciorek. .67, and that's going to be a ground ball shortstop. Actually, looking at Tollison, 3E22. 3-2, that's going to be a base hit. That is a 12, and Tollison's an E22. There's no 12 there, but it will be a single for Paciorek. So he sneaks it past Tollison. One out single. He's no threat to run. And that brings up B.J. Surhoff. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. 4-5, and that's an in-home run chance 1-4, but that's a 10. It'll be a double, and it's assumed to go to center field when it's not listed. So let's see. Paciorek runs at a 12, not being held as a 13. Center fielder minus one arm is a 12. Only a 60% chance, and you got Schroeder coming up, so they are going to hold him at third base. And you wonder if they might walk Schroeder here and set up a double play, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to intentionally walk Schroeder. Yankee bullpen is active. But right now we got a lefty-lefty matchup, Rick Manning and Dennis Rasmussen. Infield is looking for the double play. They're back for the double play. Rasmussen trying to induce that double play or pop it up or strike him out or do something like that. 1-7, and it's a line out to second base, so gets the out with no runner advancement. Now it's 2 away. And the number 9 hitter, Dale Swain, who's 0 for 2. I think what that is, particularly on the infield, I assume it's just the infielders. That's mainly where I'd look at it, is it's a hard hit ball, and the fielder gets to it, but not in time to get the runner at first. But in his attempt to get the runner at first, he throws wildly, probably not smartly, but wildly, throws the ball away and allows the runner to get an extra base. That makes sense. Now, the one in the outfield maybe doesn't, but that's what I'm envisioning when I see the single and the error. Is the play like, he got to it really, some guys wouldn't even get to the ball. It would just get through for a base hit, but he gets to it. Just because it's a single doesn't mean it goes to the outfield. It's knocked down by the infielder, but it's hit in such a way that he would not, if he tried to throw an accurate throw, the runner would still make the infield single, but he throws it wildly and allows the extra base. At least that's what's in my mind's eye. Now in the outfield one, I'm not sure about that one, but that's what I'm envisioning when I see that. All right, here's Dale Swain. It is a clutch situation. He gets 3 hits against lefties in the clutch. 2-8, 2-11, and 2-12. Pretty good, I would say. So this is it right here. Rasmussen, if he wants to stay in the game, has to get this out. 3-9, and he doesn't do it. 1-5 is a double. That's a 9. That'd be a single, 2 stars, and that's going to do it for Rasmussen. He is done. 2-run single. Brewers now lead at 6-2. Schroeder will take third, and that will do it for Mr. Rasmussen. He is done. Computer's telling me he's tired, but I think Lou Pinella's tired of seeing him out there. So whether he was tired or not, he was coming out regardless. Swain with the big 2-run single makes it 6-2. So now let's look at who's going to be coming into the ball game for the Yankees. Who's got the rest and who needs rest? Let's take a look here. They're going to go to Tim Stoddard, a right-hander out of the bullpen. So Tim Stoddard. Stoddard 4-3 with a 3.50 earned run average in the real world with 8 saves. On the replay so far, he is 5-4 with a 4.01 ERA and 1 save. So Stoddard is in to face Mike Felder. Stoddard has a +4, so that's going to continue to be Cerrone now is the new catcher. So let's see what Cerrone is. Cerrone, as a catcher, is a -1, so that makes this a +3. So it's a +3 hold. Felder up with the bases loaded and 2 outs, and in the clutch for Felder, not bases loaded, runs on the corners rather. Felder gains a hit on 111. Everything else he is, and on 2-2. So he gains 2 hits there. Swain at first base is not being held. Stoddard to Felder, 6-11 against the switch hitter batting left is a ground ball first base X. Normally you think, great, that's hit to Manley. It's no problem, but we don't have Manley. We got Gary Ward. He's a 4E13. 4 and a 12, he might get away with it. 4 and a 12 is a G3, which is good enough to make the play. That's a 9, and he is an E13. First base, E13. There's no 9, so Ward gets to it and will flip to Stoddard covering to end the inning. But the 2-run single from Dale Swain has extended the Brewer lead to 6-2. Now we can close the book on Rasmussen, as Rasmussen will go 5 2/3 innings, give up, I believe, I'm going to go to the Strat computer. I think it's 8 hits he gave up. But we'll go to the Strat computer to get the final numbers to make them official. 6 2/3, 8 hits, 6 runs, all earned. Not going to help the ERA. 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, and he's in danger of dropping to 3 and 4. Chuck Krim in good shape to even his record at 2 and 2. And he still has some endurance. And he'll be facing Mr. May, Dave Winfield, to start off the bottom of the 6th. Oh, that's a leaner, but it's close enough. I'm just going to call it a 1-8. And that's going to be a fly to left. I mean, it was 9/10 of the way down, so I'll go ahead and let it go. 1 away for Ron Kittle. 6-8, and that's going to be a ground ball shortstop X. We are looking at Swain. He's a 3E25. 3 and a 5, that might get through. Let's check it out here. 3 and a 5. And no, he actually is going to get to it. That's an 8, and he's an E25. There is no 8 to 4, 13, 17, and 18. So Swain makes the play on Kittle, and now there are 2 away. And that takes us to Mike Pagliarulo. 6-2. Another ground ball to shortstop X for Swain. He's going to try it again. 3E25. 3 and a 4. This time he won't be as lucky. 3 and a 4 is going to be a base hit. And let's see, that's a 13, and he's an E25. And there's a 13 right there. So there you go, ID. There's your classic example of a single plus an error. This is one where Pagliarulo hit it in the hole, so he would have beat it out anyway. And foolishly, Swain tried to throw to first off balance to get him out, and he ends up throwing the ball past the first baseman, Schroeder, which allows Pagliarulo to go to second on the throw. So that's kind of where that goes into play there. At least in my mind's eye, that's what it does. So Pagliarulo's at second base with 2 outs. And that'll send up the new catcher, Rick Cerrone. It's his first at bat since coming in for the injured Salas. Cerrone on the replay is hitting 260, 3 homers, 13 driven in. He at 243 real world. And this is a clutch situation. He loses 2 hits, 3-2 and 3-7 in the clutch. That's a 6-5, though, and that's a 1-2 triple. Anything else would be a single. That is a single, 2 stars, and that'll be an RBI single. And as of right now, it's an unearned run for the Yankees, but they'll take it. Now, Krim trying to finish out the innings. This is probably going to be his last inning period. Here's Henry Cotto. Cerrone, no chance of being held there. He's not much to do. And here's Cotto. That's a 3-3, and that's going to be a ballpark single check. It's a 1-7. That's a 10. So he will line it to short to end the inning. So it is an unearned run that come across the plate. So 2 unearned runs against Krim. He's only going to give up one earned run. 3 runs total in his 6 innings of pitching. But only one of the runs is earned. And he's only going to give up 6 hits. So let's see here. Let me fix something. Didn't do what I needed it to do. So let's get this right. Cerrone single scored the run. And then Cotto lined to short to end the inning. All right, so 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 runs, only one of which was earned. I'll do it manually. Let's see. 1 walk here. I think that's the only walk he issued was to Winfield. And he didn't strike out that many either. Just 3 strikeouts I've got him for. So Chuck Krim in line to get the win. And we'll figure out who the pitcher is going to be in the bottom of the 7th. Right now, top of the 7th we go. Stoddard back out. He only faced 1 batter, so he's definitely got some good energy left. He'll be facing Castillo, who was 0 for 3. .37, and that's going to be a base on balls. So a walk to Castillo, and he's definitely looking to get the lead. Needs a 3, 4, 5, or 6 to obtain the good lead. He gets the 5, he's going to go. 17 being held as a 15, but then the +3 makes it an 18. The T rating on Cerrone is only a 2, so not much of a risk there. So 1 to 18, he's safe. And he is. Stolen base for Castillo. He gets into scoring position. Also takes away the ground ball double play, which Cecil Cooper is adept at hitting into. So it's a double benefit with that stolen base. So here's Cooper. 310 for Cooper, and that's a split chance. 1 to 3 is a single. That's a 15. He's going to line it to second base. Out number 1. At least it wasn't a Lomax. So Cooper is out. Here comes Glenn Braggs. He's 2 for 3. .29, and that's a ground ball to third A, so that by stealing the base, they avoided the double play. Now there's 2 away, but the runner is still at second with 2 outs. And a chance for Jim Paciorek to drive home a run. Paciorek in the clutch against right-handers. He loses a hit on 1-7. Everywhere else he is neutral. 2-7, and that's a strikeout for Stoddard, and that will end the inning. So we go to the 7th inning stretch here at Yankee Stadium. It is the Brewers 6 and the Yankees 3, and the Brew Crew will need a new pitcher. And we'll have to figure out who they want to go to. Let's go to their bullpen, see who the most rested of the bunch is. They are looking at with a 6-3 lead, they're going to go to Mark Clear out of the bullpen. Mark Crystal Clear. So Clear is a +1 on his hold. On the real season, Mark Clear was 8-5 with a 4.48 ERA. And he acquired 6 saves. On the replay, he's 2-3 with a 1.47 ERA and 2 saves. So he's been almost lights out in the replay. Here's Tollison. He will lead things off. He is 0 for 2. It's a 1-9, and that's going to be a ground ball to first, handled by Schroeder for out number 1. Top of the order now for Willie Randolph. 4-11, and that's a fly ball right field X. We're looking at Braggs. He's a 3-E-13. 3 and a 14 is no problem at all. That is a 13. That could be an issue. Let's see. He's an E13 with a 13. E13, but there's no 13 in the outfield under E13. It's a 6, 4, 12, 15, and 17, but no. Oh, that is a 12. I misread that. That is a 12. That will be a 2-base error. A 2-base error on Braggs. E13 and a 12 is a 2-base error, and that does total 12. So, yes, I went to public school. I can despite going to public school, I can add. So it is a 12. Took me a second because I went to public school, so I have to give me a few seconds to be able to add it up right. So it is an E9, two-base error on Glenn Braggs. And that is the 4th error on the Brew Crew. Yet they're still winning the game. You got an E7 here, E6 here, 2 E6s, and an E9. So despite the 4 errors, they're still winning 6-3. Unbelievable. Infield is back. Well, it's the runner at second, so why wouldn't it be? That was a 1, so we got a chance of a wild pitch on clear. And since the card doesn't tell me what his wild pitch rating, I go to the Strat computer, and it is an 8. 1 to 8, it's going to be a wild pitch, and it is not. It's going to be blocked. Here's Ward. 6-5, and that's a strikeout for clear. Strikeout of Ward. So now 2 outs of the runner still at second base, and it's up to Mike Easler in a clutch situation. Easler in the clutch loses a couple of hits, 1-3 and 1-6. He's in the anti-clutch role. 4-6, and that's going to be a base on balls that will extend the inning. And who's coming up now is a tying run, but Mr. May, Dave Winfield. 1 long ball ties the game if you're Mr. Winfield. Clutch at bat, he gains a hit on 111. Everywhere else he's neutral. Clear to Winfield right here. 6-5, and that is a strikeout to end the inning. That's why he's Mr. May. Struck him out to end the inning. So Clear pitches around the 2-base error and gets out of any kind of trouble. We go to the 8th, still 6-3. Stoddard out. Will face Surhoff, Schroeder, and Manning for the Brewers. .212, and that's going to be a pop-up to second base. Willie Randolph right there. 1 away. Tomorrow's game, we will be at Tiger Stadium. It'll be the Boston Red Sox against the Detroit Tigers. Roger Clemens against Frank Tanana. The pitching matchup in that one from Tiger Stadium. As the Tigers try to keep pace in the American League East. Red Sox just playing out the string. Here's Schroeder. 1-6 for Schroeder, and he strikes out. Out number 2. And that'll take us to Rick Manning. 1-9 for Manning. He grounds it to first. Ward will take it to the bag himself, and it's an easy inning for Tim Stoddard. He might go ahead and finish out the game. Save the rest of the bullpen for future games. Clear back out, and he'll be facing Kittle, Pagliarulo, and Cerrone. But Ron Kittle, the first one up. And again, Yankees bench, very limited. The guys they have left on the bench, if you're thinking about pinch hitting, the best option is probably Dan Pasqua. The only other players they have are Meacham and Sakata. So Pasqua certainly might pinch hit for Cotto coming up. That would be the only move that seems to make sense. Here's Kittle. 5'11". That's a ballpark single check. 16, though, is way out of range. He will line it to short. Out number 1. That'll bring up Pagliarulo. He has homered and singled. 2 for 3. 6-9. This time he strikes out. 2 down, and here comes Rick Cerrone. .311 for Cerrone. That's a strikeout plus injury. They have no other catchers. So I think I'm going to just have to say he stays in the game because I'm not going to injure 2 catchers in a row here. That's just going to be too much to worry about. So this is not the Demolition League where we let everything go. So, all right. So we go to the top of the 9th. Stoddard's gone 2 1/3. And he really hasn't given up anything. He's walked 1 batter, and that's been it. So he's going to go ahead and pitch the 9th. And he'll be facing Swain. Felder, and Castillo. That's a 6-8 switch hitter batting left, and that's a pop out to first base where Gary Ward will make the play. One down, top of the order, and Mike Felder, switch hitter. Switch hitter Mike Felder. That is a 3-7 for Felder, and that's a line out to first. So 2 outs in a row put out by first baseman Gary Ward. 2 down for Juan Castillo. And Dan Pasqua has picked up a bat. He will hit Fricado in the bottom of the 9th. 6-10, switch hitter batting left. Ground ball third base X, Pagliarulo, 2E20. And they've got a rare play. How about that? 2-11. 2-11 for Pagliarulo. 2-11 is a G1. So we've got a rare play G1, but with nobody on base, is not really much of a rare play that goes on there. So it's the rare play is saying if it's a run on first, it has something going on. But with nobody on, batter grounds out with the runners holding, so there's no rare play to worry about. It's just a 5-3 ground out. And that'll do it for Stoddard. He will go 3 1/3 innings. He saves the bullpen right there. Only gave up a walk, nothing else. No hits or runs. He did strike out. Looks like he struck out 2. So we go to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the Yankees against Mark Clear, who was looking to obtain the save. And it would be his 3rd of the replay. He had 6 real world. Coming in to pinch hit for the Yankees for Henry Cotto will be Dan Pasqua. So Danny Pasqua will hit for Cotto. And then we'll have Tollison and Randolph after that. So Henry Cotto will leave. He was 0 for 3, so didn't do much. That's why they're going to Dan Pasqua. On the replay, Dan Pasqua is hitting 240. 11 homers, 22 driven in. He had 233 real world. So clear to Pasqua. Get a 4-6, and that's a base on balls. So Pasqua will reach. Dan Plesac is loosening the Brewer bullpen just in case Clear can't finish the deal. Tollison is your batter. He's 0 for 3. They could pinch hit with Meacham, although he's not that great either. And plus he's right-handed. But he did hit 271, so they're going to bring in Meacham to hit for Tollison, who hit 221 and is 0 for 3. So maybe they're going for the freshness of the pinch hitters to hopefully spark something here. So Bobby Meacham will pinch hit here in the bottom of the 9th. And he would stay in the game to play short if it goes extra innings by chance. So Tollison is out of there. And we'll get the numbers on Meacham. That will leave Len Sakata. He is the only one left on the bench. I don't see him getting in the game at all. Meacham on the replay is hitting 333, but it's 2 out of 6. He's only had 6 at bats. On the real world, he hit 271 with 5 homers, 21 driven in. So clear to Meacham. That's a 1-9, and that's a single to left field for Meacham. Base hit. First and second now. Nobody out for Willie Randolph. And Plesac continues to loosen in the bullpen. He might be needed sooner rather than later. Here's Randolph. We get a 5-10, and that's an in-home run chance, 1-8. That's an 11. It'll be a double for Randolph, and that's going to do it for Clear. He's going to have to go. Pasqua comes in to score. Let's see. Meacham was not being held, and he runs at a 15, makes him a 16. Be a 1-17. they're gonna, with down by so many runs, they're just gonna hold him at third base with nobody out. Just doesn't make any sense to extend that. So an RBI double from Willie Randolph. The computer is telling me it's clear is tired, but I was going to take him out anyway. It's now a 6-4 ball game with the tying runs in scoring position and nobody out. And having to come in for a big boy save is going to be Dan Plesac. See if he can do it. Clear did well until the 9th. Maybe should have pulled him before the inning started. He's going to end up going 2+ innings. Didn't get anybody out in the 9th yet. So Plesac will be coming on. Dan Plesac on the real season, 5-6 with a 261 earned run average and 23 saves. On the replay, he's 3-2 with a 4.09 earned run average and 12 saves. So going for save number 13 is Dan Plesac. He's a -2 on his hold. So let's see, get the numbers on clear. He can't close the book because he could allow 2 more runs here. He did strike out 4, and he only gave up 2 hits, and he walked 1. So far, he's allowed 1 run, but the other 2 are still his responsibility. So Plesac now facing Gary Ward. Runners at second and third, nobody out. Infield is back. They need outs. 2-7, and that is a strikeout of Gary Ward, a huge strikeout. Huge strikeout for Dan Plesac. 1 away, and here comes Easler. Lefty on lefty. Easler does not face too many lefties, but he's going to have to here. Infield still back, of course, with the 2-run lead. That's a 1. Chance of a wild pitch on Plesac. Get his wild pitch numbers. His wild pitch rating is, it's a 15. And that will be a wild pitch. That will score Meacham from third and move Randolph the tying run to third base. Now the infield is going to have to come in. That was a huge wild pitch thrown there by Plesac. It's now 6-5. Runner at third with only 1 out, so the infield has to come in. No choice against Mr. Easler. We get a 5-7. Ground ball shortstop X. That's Swain. He's a little shaky at 3.25. 3-17, though, is a good play. That's going to be a G1, and that will hold the runners, assuming there's no error. There's a 12, and he's an E25. I think the 13 is the error, not the 12. That is correct. So it will be a ground ball to Swain, and everybody has to hold. So 2 down now. And who comes up but Mr. May in the clutch? Now, first base is open, but you don't want to walk the go-ahead run and put him on base. So this is something here. Mr. May, Dave Winfield in the clutch. And against lefties, he actually gains a hit on a 1-3 in the clutch. So maybe he can come through this time. It's up to Winfield to do it. Steinbrenner looking on. 3-7, and that is a single to center field. Winfield has done it. The Yankees have tied the game. It's now 6-6. A 3-run 9th inning, a blown save for Dan Plesac. And coming through in the clutch is Dave Winfield. 3-7, a solid single. We have a tie ball game. And here comes Ron Kittle. Powerful right-handed hitter. Plesac just trying to extend it and go to extra innings. 1-8, and he struck him out to end the inning. So a 3-run 9th by the Yankees makes it 6-6. And we're going to extra innings. That means Yankees have got some defensive shuffling to do. Meacham will stay in the game to play short. Just do some shuffling in the outfield because Pasqua is only a left fielder. Easler is only a left and right fielder. Winfield, they don't have anybody to play center field. Gary Ward could play center, I guess. They're going to have to move Gary Ward to center field. That's step 1. Pasqua can actually play first base. So they'll bring in Pasqua to play first base, and then they'll bring in Righetti to pitch. All right, so Righetti is your new pitcher. So Pasqua will play first base in the 10th. That is Pasqua, and that is right here. So this is Pasqua playing first base. Ward will shift to center field. And here is Meacham at short. And like I said, they still have Lincecati. He's the one bench player they have remaining. So close the book on Clear. All three of those runs are charged to him. He also gets a blown save. Plesac gets a blown save. He goes 1 inning, gives up a hit, 2 strikeouts. And the Brew Crew will need a new pitcher for the 10th because Plesac, they're going to cap him at the 1 inning mark. So Cecil Cooper is your batter, and he'll be facing Dave Righetti from the Yankees. Not a save situation anymore, so might as well use him. Righetti, real season, 8-6 with a 3.51 ERA and 31 saves. In the replay, he's 3-1 with a 3.53 ERA and 14 saves. So he's kind of going along right where he should be here in the 10th inning. I'm going to move these cards over here so you can see them. I'm starting to run out of room. All right, so Cecil Cooper is your batter. But we're going to get a pinch hitter. We're going to have Paul Molitor come in and pinch hit and stay in the game as DH. So Molitor, he's on the roster, so whether he's hurt and can't play or whatever, I don't know. But he's on the roster. To me, he's fair game. So I'm assuming if he wasn't even well enough to pinch hit, he wouldn't even be on the roster. So Paul Molitor it is. He will come in and hit for Cooper. Try to get something started for the Brewers. Robideau and Gantner are the only 2 bench players remaining for the Brewers. Molitor on the replay is hitting .405, 7 homers, 39 driven inning at 363 real world. So Righetti to Molitor as we start the top of the 10th. 4-5, and that's going to be a strikeout by Righetti. And, of course, if ID was managing this game, the game would have been over already. But, unfortunately. Hello, the commish. Here's Glenn Braggs. 3-5 for Braggs. That's a possible home run. 1-12. And that is a 12. It is gone. Interestingly enough, he has weak power against lefties on home runs off the pitcher card, but he does have a home run off his own card. And the only place he's got it is right here on the 3-5, and it's a 1-12, and that is a 12, right on the number. So Glenn Braggs, home run, puts the Brewers back out in front 7-6. That's home run number 7 on the replay for Braggs. He had 13 of them real world. And the Yankee fans, as RJL would say, stadium groans. Here's Paciorek. That's a 4-8, and that's a strikeout for Righetti. 2 down. And we'll see who's going to close it out for the Brewers. We already used Clear and Plesac. They may have to go to Basio. Sherhoff. 2-7, lefty-lefty's a ground ball to second to end the inning. But the home run off the bat of Glenn Braggs has given the Brew Crew a 7-6 lead. Righetti will go 1 inning, give up the home run, 2 strikeouts, but that doesn't matter. And now the Brewers will go to the bullpen, and they will go to Chris Basio to try to save it. Basio is a +1, makes him a +1 on the hold. He'll be facing Pagliarulo, Cerrone, and Pasqua. The only other lefty they have is John Henry Johnson, and he's terrible. So I don't even think they want to entertain that thought whatsoever. So it will be Chris Bosio, lesser of all the evils. Bosio, it's either Jay Aldrich and John Henry Johnson are both terrible, or Chris Bosio, and they're going with Bosio. Bosio on the replay, or I'm sorry, on the season, 11-8 with a 5.24 ERA and 2 saves. On the replays, 1-0 with a 5.86 and 3 saves. So he's already exceeded his save total in the replay, just probably out of necessity, I assume. So Pagliarulo, who is 2 for 4, a home run and a single, 2 runs scored, he will lead it off here against Mr. Bosio. It's a 2-12, and that's a fly to right field, 1 away. So 1 down, and that will take us to Rick Cerrone. Again, the only bench player left is right-handed hitting Len Sakata, and he's not coming into the game for anybody. So they got to go with what they have. 2-9 is a base on balls for Cerrone. So he is the tying run. Doesn't run well, but he is the tying run. And we'll see what happens here with Dan Pasqua, who walked to start the bottom of the 9th and get everything started. If he hits a home run, it'll be Katie bar the door. He's got some diamond shots on his card for sure. 2-8, but he's going to strike out. 2 down, and now it's all up to Bobby Meacham. Last hurrah, he did single as a pinch hitter in the 9th. Last chance, Bobby Meacham. 2-10, and that is a fly to center to end the ball game. Brewers hang on and win it in extra innings after blowing the lead. Bosio will get his 4th save. The win actually will go to Plesac. The loss will go to Righetti. It is going to be a 7-6 ball game. And we'll go to the computer to get the totals and set you up for tomorrow's game between the Red Sox and the Tigers. So we go to the Strat-O-Matic computer to finalize everything. The win to Plesac, he's now 4-2. Although he did blow the save, it was his first blown save. Righetti takes the loss. He drops to 3-2. Total line score, Brewers 7 runs, 9 hits, and 4 errors. Yankees 6 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. Yankees left 9 on base. Brewers left 5 on base. Player of the game, you can make your own pick here, but I'm giving it to Glenn Braggs. He was 3 for 5 at the game-winning home run. So that's good enough for me to give him the player of the game. Glenn, no Braggs, just facts. Glenn, no Braggs, just facts. You were right, ID. Chuck Krim got cheated out of his victory that he should have had, but that's what happens when the bullpen blows it. That's real world right there. So with that game being complete, we turn the page over to tomorrow's game. We'll be at Tiger Stadium between the Red Sox and the Tigers. It'll be Frank Tanana against Roger Clemens. 33-23 Tigers against the 21-38 Red Sox. With this win here in the game today, the Brewers have tied the Blue Jays for first place. They hold serve. They're both tied. Yankees have fallen 3 games back. If the Tigers win this game, they'll be 3.5 back and only half game back of the Yankees. So they're hot on the Yankees trail for sure. And so you can't just look at the top 2 teams. You got that jockeying in the 3rd and 4th positions as well. And once you get past Detroit, it's all pitiful after that in the American League East. The other 3 teams, Baltimore, Cleveland, and Boston, all 16 games back or more. So, sorry I missed your managing strategy move there, ID. I thought about walking Winfield, but it just, I don't know, just usually don't put the winning run on base is my philosophy. And Winfield has usually been terrible in those clutch situations. And Ron Kittle was on deck, and I figured Ron Kittle was just as good as Winfield. So we went with it. It just didn't work for the Brewers at the time, but they did manage to turn it around and get it done. So, but I will be looking into some more Fall Classic, maybe trying to practice another game. I do need to definitely print out the out charts because I think like Replay Gamer and Dan were saying, I think I might lean more towards the out chart and get the D20 to give me the outs versus the fast action cards. Because like I said, I kept flipping and kept fly to center, fly. I didn't get the variety. I think the D20 will give you more variety there. I know some people say they don't like charts, but I think the out chart's would be pretty easy. You just do it. You have a couple of them up there depending on the base situation, and I don't think it would be that big of a deal. I'm going to try to get over my lefty-righty splits and my APA bias and try to get into that game. And like I said, once I learn the game better and get the rules down better, maybe I'll be more comfortable with it and would actually maybe do some sort of a mini project with it. That's how I'm really going to know about the game engine. One-offs don't really tell me anything. I really need to play it and see it in action. But I've got to figure out if I want to do that with the '89 season or whether I want to pick up a different season like '67 or '69, maybe one of those seasons to do it. Don't want to go too far back because realistically, probably looking more like it's in the '70s because usually '77 is my favorite season. Usually I pick up the '77 set in any game I'm even halfway interested in. I didn't do that for season ticket. I bought '78 instead because that's what they had as a printed set. They didn't have '77. So I got '78. But I've got '77 in every other game, basically. So I could go to Fall Classic and get a season that's not offered by Strat or anybody else just to be different. Or I could get the season I know like the back of my hand. And maybe that gives me a more appreciation for the nuances of Fall Classic. So I'm leaning more towards the latter of going with what I know. So I don't know. I've got to think about it and see what I want to do with it. And I'm leaning more toward the printed sets because it's just too much work to do the PDF, to be quite honest with you. And by the time you spend the ink and the paper, it may not be that much of a savings anyway. And the Fall Classic cards are pretty impressive quality-wise. So not only payoff pitch to me has better cards as far as quality goes. So we'll figure it out. But as far as Strat-O-Matic goes, tomorrow it'll be Boston and Detroit. Roger Clemens against Frank Tanana. So I hope you enjoyed that presentation of the 1987 Strat-O-Matic set or Strat-O-Matic game replay. And the Brew Crew blow the lead, but come back and win it on a Glenn Bragg's homer in the top of the 10th off of Dave Righetti. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.